What's up, guys? Felix Karpeh here on another episode of Enthusiast Entrepreneurs. And here today, I have two special guests, Yubi and Plam with Yeti Detailing. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and sharing who you guys are, giving us a little bit of your time. So while we're on that subject, go ahead and go into who you guys are, how you guys got started.
All right, I'm Yubi Hassan. I'm a sophomore at University of St. Thomas, and I'm a first generation Black student. At the same time, I moved to the United States in 2018 from Uganda, but I'm originally from Somalia.
And I'm Plam, the founder of Yeti Detailing. What else? That's just me.
You came from South Africa, though.
Yeah, I came from South Africa. Been in the US for 4 years. So yeah.
Nice. I've been here my whole life, but I'm from Liberia and Nigeria. That's sweet. So how did you guys get started with Yeti Detailing? Like, why detailing?
Oh man, you know
it's a really long story, to be honest. So we basically the first stimulus checks that came in during COVID, like that's the money that got us started, to be honest. We got that and we bought a car. I brought 700 and he bought 700.
No, it's not even that. It's when we started Hopkins High School. Remember how we got friends and you wanted to do business admin?
Oh yeah.
We started out from there, but we wasn't really like that close. We were just talking, and he was kind of like, he wanted to do business administration or finance or something he wanted to do. And from there on, I had started a clothing line, which is wearing right now. And he had called me because I was asking him for like how to file the LLCs and all that. And then from there on, he liked the idea. He joined. After joining, I think it was a couple of months, we got the stimulus check. From the stimulus check, then we started off with $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, $2,000. So he put 1,000, put 1,000. Our first car was worth $1,400, and we sold $2,300.
So, kind of clarifying. So the money that we put together, we bought a car for $1,400, and we sold it for $2,300. So that was our first flip that we ever did. And then we kind of fell in love with the process, and we continued doing that throughout the summer of 2020 until almost November. We're just flipping cars. And then we got that my 1,000 and his 1,000 turned into 7,000 or 8.
It was 8.
Yeah. So that $1,000 that we put together in a month, in a span of like 5 months, 4 months.
We started from June to July.
July, August, September, October, November. So 5 months, we turned that 1,000 into 8,000. And then by then he was working full-time at a detail shop, and I was a full-time student at University of St. Thomas. And so in my winter break, since we kind of having success in flipping cars, we wanted to get into the car sales industry, like the used car sales industry. But then also like there was a lot of investment that was needed to start a used car dealership. I mean, you have to get the loan, you have to get like the bond, and you have to buy cars, and you have to insure all that. So that was a lot of capital needed. And then that's when he suggested, he was like, well, I work at a detail shop and I see how many cars are coming in and going out and how much he charges. How can we do something about that? So in my winter break, the month of January, we just started doing research about it, calling places, figuring out prices, right? Going and looking for warehouse location. How do we get the warehouse? We got the warehouse. And then that's when we started basically kind of building the business from there, where we just started reaching out to dealerships, cold calls, man. We went to at least 30 dealerships and we got one.
It was hella those, man.
Hey,
We used to
the
go
dealership
to managers.
industry is rough.
Yeah, we used to walk into used car sales managers and be like, hey, can we speak to the used car sales manager? And they'd be like, what do you want to talk to about? And then the plumber would be like, he kind of had that straight face where like,
Yeah.
can I speak to the manager, please? Right? And then like the manager would come out and be like, hi, we introduce ourselves. He'd be like, I'm Yubi, this is Plam. We own a detail shop in Eden Prairie. We want to offer our services to you. And they would tell us, oh, we already got detailers.
Yeah, it was a Saturday that we went all around Bloomington, and everywhere we went, we just got no's. And it was a point when Yubi was like, let's just go home.
We got 35 no's.
Yeah.
imagine 35 managers, right? Who like actually operate like big mainstream dealerships, right? To your face telling you that, nah, we ain't interested.
Yeah,
right?
but it was worth it when you got that first yes, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then like we just
35
kept
no's
going.
was worth that one yes, wasn't it?
Exactly. Then like
Yeah.
it was like one Friday afternoon, we were like, hey man, this is the last one. All right. After this, I'm heading back home. I'm tired of going dealerships because we started going dealerships from 8 a.m. to almost 6 p.m. We were just driving around to different dealerships, waiting in the waiting area so that we could speak to the manager. And then like the one time when we got into,
I think that was when we had Mercedes series, and that was the last dealership. I was like, after this, we're just gonna go home. And it was around like 2 o'clock, I think. And I was waiting for him in the car because I didn't want to go in. And once he went in, they called me. The guy was like, I got 2 cars for you. I just called him real quick. Dude left the business cards. He just walked out quick. He's like, bro, let's go. And
it was like another dealership called us out and be like, hey, we got 2 cars for you. And that was Chevy Suburban that gave us.
That was Jeep Bloomington.
Oh yeah. And then like after we kind of got that business, do you want to tell him the story about the Suburban Cars? How late we were?
I mean, the struggle was real, but it was some days we worked like till 2. Like we had
2 a.m.
no sleep. And
Like
some days he tried to wake me up, I'll be like, okay, let's wake up at 3 and go detail. And I'll oversleep, and some days he oversleep, and it's just like.
So basically, so what happened was, so Chevy Suburban gave us 2 big Suburban cars. You know how big the SUVs are, right?
Bodies.
Yeah, and they had like weed smell in the car that we had to get rid of. On top of that, it had carpet seats that we had to like remove the stains from and all that shit. So they gave us 2 cars. So we detailed the cars, we drove them back. The manager came out, looked around and said, I don't like it, go and redo it. We're like, all right, sounds good. We brought the cars back, we redid it. We took it back and he was like, nope, go and redo it. We're like, fine. Then we came back, that was around 8 p.m. when we came back, and we decided to stay and clean those cars. And then like we stayed from the whole night until we reached 3 a.m. And then that's when we were like, all right, let's call it. And then we slept inside the fucking office. And then the next morning, we woke up, we picked up the cars, we took it to the dealership, and nigga said no.
They had actually came out with like, because the thing that annoyed me is when they came out with the book and he was like looking at each and every area and thinking. I was like, what's the point? If you don't want the business, just let us know and we'll be out. And once we left him, we started getting more dealerships.
That's when the calls started coming in, because then we realized that the value we're offering and people who understood the value we're offering, right? Because like we're not trying to work with managers who like kind of undermine the work. Because when he says he came out with the book, I'm meaning he came out with a checklist. He's going bumper to bumper, rim to rim, tire to tire, seat to seat, right? Like literally walking through every single small detail about the detail industry. And like all the other managers we have worked with, none of them have ever done that. And all of them are 100% certified with our services, right? And then like we even reached the point where like, and then later on is when we realized that a lot of detailers quit on that manager because of the same reason, right? Consistency, like you need to develop a relationship with your clients, right? But also at the same time, if you're being that manager that nobody really wants to work with, like nobody's ever going to detail cars for you. And I think he's still looking for detailers, but nobody wants to go there, right? He keeps calling around so many different detailers that we know. And like, all of them are like, oh, him? Nope, we good. So yeah. So that was the experience we learned. We had to do it the hard way to learn that, nah, that's not really the way to go. Because nobody wants to work until 3 a.m., man. Let's be honest. You're working from 8 a.m. until 3 a.m. Like, and then you basically just staying in there until it reaches the next day. And then you kind of continue. So like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes you do got to go through it to get through it, you know? You will have those long nights, early mornings for sure. But no, I mean, yeah, most people don't like to be micromanaged and definitely don't like to, you know, everything has to be perfect because, you know, done is better than perfect in the right situations, you know, not every situation, but the right situation.
The work is good, right? Like the industry standard is there, right? But they were just kind of looking for that one thing to tell us no.
Nah, I think it's just So it's mainly that he's more of a self-centered person. In other words, like, he want when he's paying 160 for a Suburban, he want it to be perfectly, and he want it to be like new. That cannot happen. It's a used car. Those scratches, I'm not gonna spend 1 hour removing scratches when you pay me 160. It don't work like that because that's time. I got more other dealerships to put in. So he wanted to be like looking new and shiny. That's something that don't happen. I will give you my quality. You know?
So he was trying to barter on the price, it sounds like.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because those are some of my worst customers. Whenever I'm doing something, the first red flag is when they try and argue with me on price. And I'm like, it's like,
don't.
Because the ones that I do it for, as soon as I finish the job, it's like, yeah, they do exactly that. They try with the microscope, they're looking, trying to make sure.
Yeah, I don't.
It's crazy.
I don't even. I have that. Like right now, I deal with a lot because where I deal right now, I deal with a lot. But what I do is I tell you my price 200. If you don't like it, that's fine. Because I've seen how so many detailers detail. They use the low shine, like you can touch the vinyls, it's oily
Like
and
still
stuff.
oily in there, yeah.
I don't do that. So whenever I tell somebody the price, they be like, "You're too expensive." I'm like, okay. I even had a guy is like, "Why is your price 302? Why is it not just 300? Where's the $2 going?" I'm like, "That's my price. If you don't like it, that's fine."
Right, like I think we kind of reached that point where like now we can pick and choose our business, right? Like we have contracts from dealerships that are keeping us busy all year round, right? So like when like a new dealership calls us, because like I think like dealerships are now reaching out to him and being like, the dealerships we actually went to that told us no and now calling us, telling us that.
Oh, you didn't even tell them that you're not more part of the business.
Oh yeah, I had to come back to school. The business is 100% under Plums now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He done took on the
but
pressure, right? The full weight of the situation. Yeah, got it rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I like it. But I really like how you know, and I'm starting to see this trend because I spoke with somebody earlier and he was telling me that during the pandemic that you know, he used that time off and that Stimmy money also to actually get something going, you know. So even though, you know, there's a lot of different things going on during this pandemic, one thing I have noticed is that it has given people the time to like sit back and be like, dang, you know, like, what do I really want to do? What am I really trying to figure out? And, you know, as we can see, you know, it's brought a lot of this to the forefront. And no, that's dope, man. I really like that. I really like it.
There were people complaining, talking about you can't find no job after the pandemic. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I still don't see those people doing anything. So
yeah, no, like, you got to make something happen. Yeah, you got to get out here and make something.
The deal, like the thing you kind of understand is basically like this is government money trying to like, it's something that it's basically a handout that the government is basically giving out. So if you're spending your money on buying a brand new car, right? Like you're trying to lease a new car, or you're going out to party that night with that stimulus check, or I don't know, you're trying to do some money with it. Like you got to be creative with it, right? Like these things don't come around so often. Right, like again, like you have to also kind of think like, okay, if I have $1,000 today, right, what am I gonna need tomorrow? How do I make this money sustain me for the next 2 years, right? So like basically for us, our main thinking point was that we kind of realized how unstable 9-to-5 jobs were, right? Like we're both working in jobs and like we all basically just lost work in the middle of the pandemic.
Nah, there was even times where I couldn't find jobs. I had applied and he was laughing at me. He was like, because he works for his brother, he was like, "Get your unemployment ass out here." I was like, okay.
I don't like, yeah, it's like
I applied like to so many jobs. He was
so many. Like you have no idea.
I applied, and the only job that I applied to was Lowe's, and they wanted me to work. I think it was 10 to 6. I was like, nah, that's me killing myself. That's if I work 10 to 6,
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So night shift.
Yeah.
And then in the morning you have to come and detail in the shop. So you would have never worked out.
You would have been a walking zombie.
Yeah. So like kind of seeing that, right? Like everybody like working for somebody else wasn't really it.
It's not even basically, it's just that the way we program our brain, or whatever, like the way our mindset is, it was different to a standard way. Like we wanted so much for ourselves, and we still do want so much for ourselves, but it's like we wanted to reach to a point where like we don't gotta worry about stuff, you know. So we wanted to create something like that we can leave over, or a little legacy or something like that. So we wanted something big for ourselves. Because
Legacy.
this guy don't even party. If just look at him, he looks like a books boy.
Hey, by the way, the clothing brand is mine, and I'm working on a tea idea now that I'm gonna smart. Plus, I go to University of St. Thomas.
What's the name of it?
So this is Goscilare. It means drip in Italian. So, and then this is our hats, and then we have pants and we have t-shirts.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And that mentality part that you had mentioned is just so important, you know, because you guys definitely could have quit going out there.
Oh man.
Banging them. Hey, let me tell you, door to door is not an easy task. You know, it takes some real cojones to get out there and walk up into any business and be like, hey, you know, this is what I'm trying to do, and get told no 35 times just for that last one, you know, and I feel like that was God, you know, the Most High, whoever everybody believes in.
No, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
the next one is like, oh, here you go. You guys paid your dues. And now here you guys go.
Yeah, that's when we knew it, actually. Like that one dealership that literally, again, like it's also the dealership that helped us the most, right? Like it's the one that kept us busy, gave us enough business to pay for the month.
Yeah, he was the one in Hopkins.
Yeah, so Jeep in Hopkins, if you guys know it.
Let's
Okay.
let's not do all that.
All right.
But like
that's the dealership that like literally got us from our feet, right? Like basically brought in enough income to pay the warehouse, to pay for the insurance, right? To pay for the supplies, and we didn't have any money left around. I think we were basically dead broke for 2 whole months.
50 cents in the bank account.
We're literally surviving on water on some days. Right, like we literally so broke to the point where like we would compare our bank accounts and see who had the least dollars in there.
Hey, that's a part of it, you know, because I feel like a lot of the times you get online, especially, and you see people promoting the entrepreneurial or boss or whatever lifestyle, and it's just like glamour, glitter, gold, all the good stuff, but they don't see those long nights, you know, the constant no's, the broke days, you know, the crying, all the different things that come with it, you know. So yeah, that's why we're doing this podcast and doing this episode specifically, you know, so people can see the back end of this stuff, because, you know, when they come and see us, you know, they see, okay, the clothing line looks fresh. Okay, they're moving cars in and out. They're staying busy, you know, and everything. But they don't see those headaches. They don't see everything that's happening raw and uncut. So, man, that's crazy.
I'm going to say one thing, right? Do not ever believe the social media gurus that tell you that you can get rich within 5 days. Like, that's impossible. All right, you got to put in the work. Like,
and if it's possible, it's probably not legal.
Right. Yeah. Like, I would really question the legitimacy of that business, right? Like these things kind of take time to build, right? It's like basically building a house, right? You need to lay down your foundation, then put up the structure, right? Put up some concrete around it, then put your roof, and then have your AC, right? You can't just kind of come around and then start with the roof, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. You got to go step by step, and you have to also be dedicated to your goal. Like, you're going to reach so many obstacles. You're going to reach into so many barriers. Like, you are going to face so many hardships. Like, personal relationships are going to be broken. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Trust me. Personal relationships are going to be broken. Some people's feelings are going to get hurt. Your feelings are going to get hurt. Right? Yeah. But have the mentality that it's business. All of these things is happening for a reason. It's all a mind game, right? You're building yourself. It's all about your self-confidence. The moment you get to that mindset where you're like, I can do it, I'm telling you, you will do it. Just don't give up.
It's just basically, you know how, so the way I look at it is, your life is a mug, and then you gotta find the hot water, you gotta find the tea, the spoon, and the sugar to make yourself a drink. So if you don't do all that, nobody else will do for you, you know? Your mom gonna do it for you for a certain time, your dad gonna do it for a certain time, but it comes to a point whereby you gotta do it on your own, you know? We are given everything in this world, but it's just sometimes you just gotta be vigilant and wise and have the right mindset. It's always about the mindset. I don't care how hard you work or whatever. If your mindset is not right, your attitude is not right, you're not getting anywhere. That's how it is.
Put feelings aside. If you're in the business world, you are gonna get hurt. Man, people are gonna disrespect you.
How many times we argued?
Right? Like, also, like, we're partners, right? we're basically brothers. But also at the same time, when it came to the business concept, like I wanted to implement my ideas, he wanted to implement his ideas, right? So we constantly talk it out. But at the end of the day, there was one goal we're both trying to achieve, what's good for the business, right? If I went with his idea because it was better than mine, I'm not getting hurt because I went with his idea. I know that the business is going to succeed tomorrow, right? So I'm putting my feelings aside so I can make more money later on down the road, right? So it's just basically that, like, you have to come to common terms with each other. Like if you're fighting about money or like how you're spending certain things or like that, like you just have to reason with each other and be like, hey man, let's save this $100 today, right? We could use this money to go and buy supplies tomorrow. Or like, hey, don't take this profit out this month. Let's save this money. And then maybe next month, if we run low on like inventory, we could use this money we saved from this month to put it up. Like we literally did not pay each other. We started in February and we did not get paid until the end of July, right? So all the money we just accumulated. And then July is when we actually hit our first 100K. So like in 5 months, we did 100K worth of invoices and we did not even earn a penny from the business. Not even $1, right? So the concept is like, you're seeing money coming in, but you also got to control yourself. You gotta look for tomorrow, right? Like you basically have a plan, have a 3-year plan, have a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, a year, right? So say that, okay, I'm not gonna touch any money that comes into the business for the next 3 months, right? That's how, because like once you say that, you kind of have yourself, like you're setting yourself forward for like you're just putting up yourself for success. Because now, if anything happens in the 4th month, right? Let's say the equipment just fails, you have no money, right? But then remember, you never spent the profits that you made. So you could use that, bring it back in and then continue. But if you start taking out money, the moment you start making money, you ain't gonna last long, bro. You're not gonna last that long.
Yeah, and see that's really important. Longevity is key. And that wraps me back to what you had said earlier, just about the mentality. Because when I was in the streets, money was coming fast. It was coming every day. And then once I got into business, because I do window tinting, right? But I just started window tinting like last year. But throughout my journey within these last like 4 years or so, it wasn't, I do a car, make some money that same day. It was, I'd be trying to do something and there would be no money this day, this week, this month. So it was like, dang, my mentality was all messed up because I was like, man, maybe I wasn't cut out for this because I'm not making any money. But at the same time, it's like, you got to look for tomorrow and not just focus on today. So, yeah, no, that's super important. And kudos to you guys, man, because, hey, seeing some big numbers every month and not taking anything out of it, hey, I don't know if I could,
We're making $1,500 a day and we're not taking money out.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like imagine people, that's somebody's whole month's check. So yeah, so it's just control. Just control yourself. Know what the end game is.
So you got what is life on a day-to-day basis like for you guys? Plam.
Like how's your day-to-day activities? Like what do you do in the morning, and then just basically tell your plan from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed.
Man,
he's set up. Like right now, he is in a point where like the business is running himself. He doesn't need to put in a lot of work, right? Like the business is system running. He can literally go to vacation in Italy.
I don't even know when the last time I get out of the car.
So right. I'm trying to get to that point, man. I need some workers.
I don't use an alarm in the morning, first of all. So I just wake up. But every day is another day for me. I sometimes even forget if it's Tuesday or Monday. I just go on my day. I don't have no schedule or whatever. But it's just work, and that's all.
Yeah. So even though you don't have to, it's still work.
What else do I gotta do? I mean, it's still the first year, so it's still a little bit crooked and stuff, but trying to make it a little bit stable. So the first year is always like that. So you eat less, but once it stands on its own and its feet, then after that, now you start.
That's when you get married and have kids. That's the time when you get married. Actually, so I go to St. Thomas. So like I have classes throughout most of the day, but also at the same time, like right now I'm kind of taking a step back from business. I'm just focusing on the clothing line and the tea idea that I'm working on. You gotta hear about it later, but it's still in the development phase yet.
Okay. Okay. And so like coming up, like you guys are at this point, life is good. You're able to step back a little bit from it after you guys have put that initial upfront work into it. The future now, like where do you guys see yourself with the business? I know you have your clothing line going on as well, but like a year, 2 years from now, where do you guys see yourself taking things?
For me, I think probably I might run another detail company with a tent. And I'm thinking also body work, like touch-up paint and all the stuff, but still planning it out. And probably also will do mobile soon. That's because my car is gone, so I might just get like a little van and do a mobile. So that's the next thing, because I think I got a deal with to detail for the Viking players to detail their cars. But I'm not mobile, so that's why it's like I want to get the trucks, because that's where the big money is going to be. So those guys are driving all the nice cars and stuff. So
okay. Yubi, how about you, man?
Honestly, one of my main achievements that I want to do is get a college degree, to be honest. So in 2 years, I'm probably going to graduate with an entrepreneurship and a finance degree. And after that, I still want to get involved in businesses. By then, my tea brand is going to be out, and
he's going to be my employee.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can still come back to the detail shop. It doesn't really matter.
You're going to be my employee.
Yeah, but like the 5 years from now, hopefully, I'm looking forward to being in a leadership position, hopefully, while still owning my businesses. Or
exactly, so you can come work for me. Not that hard.
Nah,
I mean, you're already in a leadership position, though. Both of you guys are.
Right?
I mean, you guys are doing something, legal for your money. It's constructive. You know, you guys are putting food on the table for some people.
Yeah, like that's the side people don't really get. Like right now, everybody's telling me like you should go and get an internship because like that's where the 9 to 5 is, and I'm like, not really. I'm not trying to get into that type of career, right? Like I already tasted what entrepreneurship looks like. Right. Yeah. Like actually we also came up with our own term, like Plam was a hustler and I was an entrepreneur, and then like our term is hustlepreneur, right?
So like I like you.
Yeah. So like I already kind of experienced that. Like the detailing has exposed me to so many things that I would have never learned in school. Right. But also at the same time, like I also kind of understand that to kind of be in certain in certain positions like finance, accounting and finance technically, I still need to have some type of schooling background. If I want to get my CPA license to become a public certified accountant, right? I still need to get my CPA license and then kind of do all those great things. But like, again, like college for me is like a personal goal. Like both my parents did not graduate college, right? I'm a first gen college student. Plus I'm going to St. Thomas on a scholarship. So it's basically being paid for 100%. So why would I give that up?
Exactly.
Hey. There you go, man. I like that you're still looking to further your education, even though you have success, with the finance part to it. So what exactly made you want to go for finance? I mean, I'm assuming you like money, but is that the only reason, or is there another reason to it?
He wanna play around.
So basically, one of the things where I kind of realized with the detailing business was accounting and keeping records. Right, like that's the thing that really stressed us the most, because we did not know how to categorize anything. Like we used to go and watch YouTube videos, and like we used to listen to like tax experts about certain things and stuff like that. And like that's when their idea really came out to me and be like, I think I should be a public certified accountant, right? Like a CPA. Plus, like St. Thomas, like the Upper School of Business, has one of the best entrepreneurship schools in the whole state. Like it's #1 in entrepreneurship, right? And then like also like the alumni and the connections and like all the funding that goes into like small businesses and all those things. Plus another thing on top of that is I'm a black owned business, right? And then like there, in terms of diversity, I think there's very few people who are like, I'm 20 years old, right? There's very few people who are my age. Could you tell I'm 20?
No, that was one of my questions coming up. How old are you guys?
26 and 22.
26 and 22. Actually,
I'm 20, man. Don't listen to him.
Those numbers split. You messing with me?
No, but I'm actually 20 and he's 22. So like it's kind of like, it's an eye-opening thing for me because like I still have a long way to go, inshallah, like if God wills. But like also kind of understanding like the things that I know now. I had not known those things 5 years ago when I was still back in Africa.
And we still learn from each other at this point.
Yeah, we're still consulting with each other, right? I'm telling him things, he's still telling me things, and like our things that we kind of put forward. The good thing about it is that I actually get to implement the ideas I have in mind. He actually gets to implement the ideas he had in mind, right? So like the mentality is still kind of keep going forward, because like one of the main things is that we're both growing, right? We have not reached our peaks yet, right? So we're basically just consultants for each other. So like when I have a business problem, I come to him and be like, hey man, like what do you really think about this? And he'll tell me like, think about like this, right? Like you kind of like you on the right path, but like how about if you think like this? It's just like suggestions that we take it from each other. And then like he comes and be like, hey man, like I'm kind of having an employee issue. And I'm like, well, kind of just talk to them or like do this or do that, right? So like we're both learning from each other at the same time. We're both implementing the things we learn from each other. So it keeps we're still going at it.
Yeah, but what I've learned from this dude, don't ever use feelings in business, man. It's not good.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to be straight up. Like
it's not good. And that's why he hate that I just don't have zero feelings at all. And he hate that the fact that I just tell him things as it is. And he's like, how do you do it?
Like, okay, so one thing where I'm not really good at is like I'm not really good at like confronting some serious issues with employees and stuff like that, right? So like I'm kind of a little bit hesitant from like calling out somebody if they're doing something wrong or anything like that, right? But in business, if you want to succeed, you have to talk to the employee. Like, so like most of his employees are like, we're kind of close friends. Like that's how we hired them. But like, how do you really tell somebody you've known for the last 5 years and tell them, hey man, like if you're not doing the job right, I'm gonna find somebody else to replace you.
You just did it.
Right?
You just did it.
Like, no, I just did it because now I'm talking to you, but like how do I tell that to a close friend of mine across the street, like across in front of me, right into my face, right? I was kind of like hesitant from that, but like he kind of said that, hey man, it's either him or the business. You gotta choose one, right? That's it. You have two options. You either choose your friend or you choose your business that's gonna feed your family tomorrow. It's very simple. So like, again, like when he started talking to his like employees like that, to our friends, like they all got it straight up. They were like, hey man, like we understand you're running a business and we're also making a paycheck, right? Like I'm making more than I was making in any other retail job. Like I want to be here. So like tell me what it takes to kind of make sure that I keep my job. Right. And then that's exactly what he did. He was like, all right, this is where you're messing up. Just make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I don't think any other issue came up ever since.
The guys are actually doing a great job.
So
communication is key. Communication is key for sure. Okay. No, I love that. Dang, there was one thing that I had on the top of my mind, but I forgot what exactly that it was. Oh no, it was, so how do you, because I noticed that a lot of the times that not only do partnerships not really work for people, but also two friends coming into it really doesn't work for some people. So how do you guys, like, what is your guys' relationship like that it's able to mix like this and produce something like you guys have created?
Because, okay, so the thing was, what I told him was like, we are here for business. If you got a problem, tell me. If you want to take our money, tell me. And we never lie to each other. If he want to take our money and buy food, he has the business card, he do it. But one thing I told him is, if you want to run this business, we got to run it like brothers. Like we don't care about anything. And the thing is, some days we get mad. He don't get mad for nothing. This man, it takes him, I don't know, 7 to 10 business days for this man to get mad.
So like, the main idea is that like people are gonna say whatever, like people are gonna say certain things in heated conversations, right? Like the situation is hot. So the best thing you can do is just kind of keep it to yourself, and then the next day, nothing is there, right? The problem is not there anymore. So like it's not that I'm not getting mad, is that I know what's at stake for both of us, right? So like if we fought, right, and like we had a very serious altercation with each other, like the business would never have been at this point, right? So the main idea was like, what's good for the business? I don't care about my feelings. I don't care about his feelings either, right? Being straight up honest with each other and be like, okay, because like one of the things that really affects partnerships is like doing something in the low key without your other partner not knowing.
Because what we did is we got to know each other deeper. So in a sense, we're like, I know what he's going to do. I know when he's mad or when he's not in a good mood, and you know. So like I told him, here we're here to work, and we are here to make this business grow. Put the feelings aside. If you got a problem, tell me my face. And most of the time, he knows. He tell me a problem, I just sit there and be like, okay, it's fine. I'm sorry.
I would call him out, and he would call me out, right? But like we know, like you know, when somebody calls you out on something that you're doing wrong, you know that. Right? So like, it's just that hesitation. Like when you're responding back, you know you're wrong. When you start defending yourself so many ways, you know that you're wrong. Right? So like most of the times, like we listen to each other. Like he would call me out on something and be like, okay, I understand. Right? But then this is why I did this. And he'd be like, no, let's do it this way. Right? I know my actions were wrong. Right? The next day when I come in, I'm doing everything different. If I did the same thing to him and I tell him, hey man, like, for example, like, hey, you shouldn't have spent that money this week, right? We needed that money to spend for something else. Next time, before he spends something, he's gonna come and double check on the books and be like, hey man, do we have $400 to take out this month? I need to pay something, or like I need to pay for my mortgage or anything like that.
He's bad in numbers. I was the one who was keeping track of all the numbers, all in my head.
You got them switched up, huh?
Oh my God. He just cares if the money is in there. Doesn't care how much is in there or whatever.
I would just wait for the end of the month.
We put whatever we had aside and we built our bond first before even putting the business. Because I told him, you know, at some point when we start making big money, it's going to be conflict. And he was like, mark my words, there will be no conflict stuff. And we made about 20 grand. And we all look at the money and like, oh man, that was a lot. But we didn't let it come to like, oh, I want this share. I put this much. It was no blood. Even when he had gave me his shares, it was no bad blood. We just talked and
yeah, it was just a decision that we kind of made together. I was like, hey man, I want to go back to school, right? I don't want to give up my scholarship. Like, yeah, I've had success in the
I used to push him.
When
I needed to slap him a couple of times to do his homework, man.
Dude, okay. So the most weirdest thing was that, so when we were doing the detailing 14 hours a day, I was full-time student.
Yeah.
Right? I still had to come back. Like I was detailing until 9 p.m. and I had to come back and turn in my assignments from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. Right? Doing my assignments. And then I would go to bed from 1 to 6. And then 6, he would pick me up to take me to the detail shop and we would detail throughout the whole day. And then I was doing that for the whole spring semester from February, March, April, May. I was just doing that, keep going at it. Basically having like 2-hour sleeps. And then Saturday and Sunday, I was working overnight shifts.
Yeah, but before that, I think we did all open on Sundays too.
Yeah, we
did this detail on Sundays. But my advice is just if you're starting a partnership with a friend or anyone, you gotta have the greatest communication, man. Communication is always the key. Then comes trust. If you don't have both those, you're gonna bump heads always, and it's always hard because people don't like to hear the truth. That's the thing about it. Nobody want to hear the truth. But if your friend is telling you the truth, he's telling you something you see, that means that's a real friend. Right. Like he really see that you're doing wrong and he wants you to change. You just sometimes gotta swallow your pride. You know, we both got pride, but it's just sometimes you gotta swallow it and be like, yeah, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, know who are your friends and you gotta know who you're putting your money with, because money becomes a lot of conflict and then
people are gonna fight. Like
people always
100K? Yeah. 100K is a lot of money, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Yeah. Like that's gonna change a lot of perspective from a lot of different people. Like even your closest friends are gonna start coming to you for work and tell you, hey man, let's do business together. Or like, hey, I want to start the same business as you started. I know so many people who wanted to start a detail shop. I tell them process it took me, right? And be like, hey man, are you ready to do all this stuff? And like, yeah, man, that's I'm ready for all that shit.
People are always scared of the paperwork, man. It's so business is just people are scared of the paperwork, and the number one thing is the problem that it comes with it. That's one thing that is always trouble. Like the problem, you will solve one, then another one pops up. You solve one, then another one pops out. You solve one, another one pops out. And at that time, if you're not strong-hearted, you're not strong-minded, like you just all week, you're just gonna close out and be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. And you close down. We have dealt with a lot of problems.
Like I remember one time we're actually detailing a car and one of the spinners we're using broke off.
Oof.
Right? And we literally had 4 cars parked outside. And we had to drive all the way to St. Cloud, an hour and 20 minutes to go and buy the spinner and then come back and then get back to work again.
Yeah, but man, some
then,
people
like,
would
right
have
after
been
that,
like,
something
some
else
people
broke.
would have called the customer and been like, hey, you guys have to come pick up your car because, you know, we can't do it, like this and that.
We were not
No
willing to
excuses
lose
though, right?
business. We were not willing to lose business. If it took us, if we got back at 7 p.m., right? And it took us until 1 a.m. to finish those cars, we were going to stay until 1 a.m. to finish those cars. Because tomorrow is a new day. You do not keep the inventory from this week to the next week, right? If you have the ability to do something today, do not postpone it for tomorrow. Get it done. Because that's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and a lot of money.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're coming up on the last question here before I let you guys go. But for the people at home who are watching who may want to start a detailing business or even jump into entrepreneurship, what are some things you guys would like to leave them with?
I'll go back to my quote again. Life is a mug. You gotta find the hot water, the tea bag, the sugar, and the spoon to mix it. So
Yeah.
You are given everything. You know, you can pray, you can fast as much as you want in life, but if you don't put the work and don't have the right attitude, the mindset, there's nothing out there for you to achieve. As hard as it sounds, but it's the reality, man. I don't want to come and tell you, oh, yeah, it's easy. No, it's not easy. It's hard, but you gotta be ready.
It's easier.
You know, you gotta be ready to fight. Otherwise, you just gonna close down throughout the road, and then once then you're back again to square one. But it's just you knowing what you want to do and standing up for yourself. Don't let nobody stand in your way. If it's your dreams, go for it. Don't stop at the end of the road just because somebody said you can't do it or whatever. We had so many bad opinions from people, but it's just, if you believe in yourself and you stay firm and you know what you are doing, there's no doubt at all. Not so many people are going to support you through the journey, but it's just, you got to be strong-hearted. You got to be a fighter, you know. It's like somebody is punching you in your face and you keep standing up and coming back again, punching you until you stand up and pass out, then we can believe. But if you're not, keep going.
Take those punches, man. Take those punches.
Where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. As always.
We literally used to have that poster inside the shop. Like, it was big enough that every single morning when we were walking into it, it would tell us, like, where there's a will, there's always a way. And then, like, another thing I would kind of add on top of this is that find something that you actually care about, right? If you're getting into a business just because of the money, I'm telling you, bro, you're not going to last more than 6 months in that business, right? Like, the whole concept about business is that, do you care enough to wake up every single day to keep doing it every single day for the rest of your life, right? If you can find something that really makes you forget about time, like, you know, okay, some of us like literally clock in to our jobs, right? But then 5 minutes feel like 5 hours, man. Like, we're just watching our time. Like, that's not for you, right? Find a job that when you're doing the job, when you look up, it's 5 hours past. You look down and then you look up, your shift is done, right? Like, what is that job look like to you? Then get into that industry. If you get into any industry where you're just looking at the money, all of us have done jobs just for the paycheck, man. Remember that.
And look where we are.
In the morning, you would wake up and be like, I gotta go to work again. Man, like, your bed feels so nice when you're waking up. But then if you're waking up doing something that you love, like, your bed is literally going to kick you out of the bed, man. We automatically used to wake up at 6 a.m. No more. It's just programmed in us. The moment it hit 6:05, I was already up showering, brushing my teeth, and I was heading out. Right? So, like, do not get into business just because of the money. Like, yeah, okay, we understand business is all about money, right? Like, how much money you're making at the end of the day. But if your main goal, if you're just looking at money, you're gonna reach a point where the money is not gonna mean anything to you more than your own mental health, bro. So you gotta look after yourself, and you looking after yourself meaning that you gotta do something that you actually enjoy doing.
I love it. I love it, man. So where can the people find you?
I'm at Bloomington. If you go to 333 West Bloomington, 86th Street, you can find me there. And clothing line is online.
Our clothing line is Goshilare,
.com.
GOCCIOLARE.com.
Yep.
It's very hard for people to get it, but once you get it,
Oh, you didn't even tell them what that means. It means drip.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell. I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Give us a 360, man. Let us check it out.
right? Come on.
Oh, hey,
like
oh,
this is the hat, and then this is the hoodie. So
Yep.
For sure, man. For
So,
sure.
there
I
you go.
love it. I love it. And Yeti detailing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Beautiful.
I'm at
Beautiful.
Bloomington. I treat your car like it's my own. So
every car.
whenever you bring it, you're gonna get a new car back. So
Yeah, you
no
gotta have
matter
some
how
fun in
dirty
it.
it is.
Yeah. No doubt. Man, thank you guys so much for stopping by, sharing your story, and letting people know a little bit about who you are and what you're about and what it took to actually get to where you are. Because I know some people just kind of look and just be like, oh, they just, we're doing some
Yeah,
regular
like-
stuff and they just got here, So thank you for sharing
We
your
both
story.
immigrants, man. We both immigrants. If we go back to our countries, we taking the same mindset back home, bro. We're doing that shit all over again back home. So
There you go.
just be glad, because like the thing about it is like people are saying that you immigrants need to go back, but like who's the better citizen, man? He just created jobs for 4 Americans. All right.
Yeah.
So who's the better citizen now?
No, let them know. Let them
Yeah.
know.
So,
Yeah, but no, definitely, man. That is a conversation too. I think one of the most beautiful things about this country is that people from wherever can come here, as long as you're not coming on no BS. But yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, thank you guys for coming in, and hopefully we'll have you guys back. We'll be doing some more stuff with you guys. So yeah, we're tuning out.
All right.
all right, man.